Hi guys, and welcome to the video. Today we'll be playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. The rules are simple. Our contestant will face 15 Dota questions, increasing in difficulty, for a chance to win up to $150. To help him out, he has 3 lifelines. 50-50, ask the audience, and ask the host. And of course, he's got an Aegis, giving him 2 lives to make it to the end. Enjoy the video. First question. What item revives the holder upon death and disappears after use? Is it A. Divine Rapier, B. Age of the Immortal, C. Lincoln Sphere, or D. Refresher Orb?
I think it's B.
Yeah? Are you gonna log it in?
I don't know if I should ask the host. No, I'm good.
Yeah. I'll accept the answer once you say it's logged in. And
Okay.
B. Age of the Immortal is correct.
Yes.
So, which player got the first competitive Dota 2 Rampage? Was it A. Angel, B. Artstyle, C. Ferrari 430, or D. Pycat?
Wow, if this is question number 2, this is going to get pretty hard, I think.
This turns up the difficulty bit. I think you were at this tournament. So
this was Pycat Sniper at TI1, I think. I will lock it in, but I think it's Sniper. But it was Pycat.
It is correct. It is Pycat, and it was on Sniper. So very well done.
Nice. Okay. Damn, this was question number 2, huh?
Yeah. How much does a fully charged magic wand heal? Is it A. 255, B. 270, C. 300, or D. 315?
Well, it's 20 charges times... It's 20 times 15, right? Let me just think for a sec. I want to make sure.
Yeah, you gotta do some math here, right?
I mean, the only one that is divisible by 20 is C. It says magic wand. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go with C 300. Lock it in.
Alright, C is correct.
Alright, okay.
Yeah, doing pretty well so far. You're making a speedrun actually.
When these are the first ones, I'm gonna struggle.
Which Dota hero was originally based on a Final Fantasy character? Was it A. Chaos Knight, B. Sven, C. Razor, or D. Phantom Lancer?
Oh dear.
How long have you played Dota for? Do you remember like the characters from Dota 1?
2004, I think.
Yeah, so you might know this.
The problem is I never really played much Final Fantasy, so...
Then that makes it a bit difficult.
I know Lena is based off an anime character, I know that. The
I didn't
Slayer,
know that.
right?
I didn't know that actually.
I think she's called Lena in Verse, right? It's a reference to, I think is a manga called Slayer or something? I don't know. Something about that.
I think you might be correct, yeah. She's called Lena in Verse for sure.
Final Fantasy character. These heroes are all really old. So they're all possibilities.
Yeah, I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
No, I mean, if this is question number 4, this is gonna get difficult. But I think the stuff that's like peripheral to other games is probably where I should use my clues. Because if it's just Dota, I have a better chance than this.
Yeah.
I am going to ask the audience on this, I think.
All right, and this is question number 4.
And then we hope the audience knows.
So
that was actually going to be my guess too. My first instinct was PL.
You have to remember that the audience is not always right.
No, but they're right this time. So I'm going to go with D Phantom Lancer.
All right, you're logging it in?
Yeah.
And that is correct.
All right.
If you remember when you played Dota 1, the Phantom Lancer had like a custom model compared to the other heroes that was not from Warcraft. So the model was from. I
don't remember this.
No, it was a different model. It was like a custom model.
I see.
And the icon for the hero was different as well.
I see.
What is the base magic resistance of most heroes? Is it A 15%, B 20%, C 25%, or D 30%?
It is C 25%.
This is correct.
And I'm locking it in. I'm trying to remember if anyone has a different number now, because Meepo and Visage did, but I think they got normalized, right?
I'm not sure about that. I remember Meepo and Visage having different. Meepo had higher and Visage had lower.
Yeah.
But it might have been normalized now. Yeah.
C25.
Yeah, it's correct.
All right. That's 5.
Yeah, so we reached the milestone. You have now secured $10.
Okay, so ask the audience is used. I can't
Yeah.
see it being used, but
No, I know. It's a limitation.
Okay, got it.
Alright. Which hero besides Witch Doctor had the ability Death Ward? Was it A. Dazzle, B. Shadow Shaman, C. Warlock, or D. Ricky?
This is, I know this one for sure because I remember this very clearly. Everyone was fighting to first pick this hero back in Dota 1 in like, I don't know, 2005, 6 maybe. Ricky had this, and he started with permanent invis on level 1 as well. And I think Death Ward was his ult that he got on level 5. The hero was busted.
Yeah.
I will never forget. D. Ricky for sure.
Yeah.
Can lock that in. No
That
doubt.
is correct. This is one of the questions I was very unsure about how difficult it was going to be. I did some testing on people, and some people said this question is really easy, and some of them were like, this question is really hard.
Yeah.
It just comes down to if you played, I think.
Exactly. It's not obvious that that would be a candidate, right?
No. Which of these items cannot be disassembled? Is it A. Kaya and Sange, B. Echo Saber, C. Mask of Madness, or D. Witchblade?
You can definitely disassemble Mom and Echo. And you can disassemble S and Y. So I don't see why you wouldn't be able to disassemble Kaya Sange as well by logic, which would make it Witchblade. Can you disassemble Witchblade? I'm allowed to have one wrong and still survive, right? I have one Aegis myself.
Okay. We can call it an Aegis. That's a good way of doing it.
I might actually gamble on this then. I'm very confident. Be 100% because I do that myself sometimes when I play Dawn. It's a classic to disassemble Mom into Satanic.
Yeah.
Kaya Sange and Witchblade. I mean, Dota is so weird because maybe you can't disassemble Kaya Sange, but you can S and Y. But I'm gonna say D Witchblade and lock it in.
That is correct.
All right, good. I wonder when Kaya Sange became disassemblable. I don't think it was.
I don't know actually. I wanted to make the question and I had to go in and check which items were disassemblable, and I thought S and Y would be too obvious.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go with Kaya and Sange because I feel like everybody knows that you can disassemble Sange and Yasha. Alright, how many units does 4-step push its target? Is it A, 550, B, 600, C, 650, or D, 700?
Oh, I think it's one of the hundreds. 6 or 7. So 550 is Viper's attack range, I think. Can you force further than... I think you can force further than a Viper attack.
It's an interesting way of thinking about it. It's difficult, right? You buy these items quite a lot, but you never really think about the numbers. 700
is like Techies, I think, ish. Techies attacks go really far. All right. What am I on? This is question number 8?
This is question number 8.
I'm gonna need lifelines for the higher ones, I think. Damn. Maybe I should... I mean, I will also have an Aegis then, though.
It's becoming a tactical decision. How much do you dare to gamble?
I mean, this could also technically be 650. It's like one of those items that got nerfed and buffed 100 times in the last 10 years. Which version are we on now? 600 or 700 or 650? Okay, so here's my logic. I think if I'm wrong, I'm not even sure what the other answer is. So I should use a clue then, because I think it's B, C, or D, and I don't feel very strongly.
All right.
So, do you know this though? I'll use ask the host, and then it's your fault.
Yeah, that's all right.
Goes wrong.
I am pretty sure it's B 600.
All right. I mean, I liked 600 as well, so I think that was my first choice, but I was not confident enough to try an Aegis on it. All right, let's do 600.
All right.
B 600.
You logging it in?
Yeah. This is where you're like, nope, it was 700.
It is correct. It is B 600.
All right. Okay.
What is the vision range of Observer wards? Is it A 1000, B 1200, C 1600, or D 1800?
I wonder how many pros know this.
I wonder as well. I didn't know it. I had to research it.
So range is the radius of the circle.
Yeah, it's the vision, right? It's how far it sees.
Yeah.
Let's assume it's on a cliff, right? So it's not limited by trees or anything.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of when you place it on the ground. Does Night Stalker see you at night before you see him when you have a ward?
I enjoy how you're trying to figure out the answers. Like
he has 1800 night vision.
You're doing Night Stalker, and earlier you did Viper range. So
yeah.
Good deduction.
Well, I ended up using a clue anyway, so how much did it really help? Is this actually 1800? It's quite far. Marana Arrow is 2500. I remember that by heart. 2500 or 3k. It's something like obscenely high. Words 1800. $1800 is the daytime vision of most heroes too.
Yeah, so if you put a hero on a cliff during the day, do they see the same as a ward?
Should ask Arteezy this.
Yeah, you would know, right?
Part of me feels like it does not see the exact same. I think it's B or C. It's question number 9. I really want to at least beat the 10th question. That's like my bottom line for what I would find okay. But I also didn't know what the difficulty would be. I have to say these are pretty hard, some of them. My gut really says C. Is it really 1600?
It makes you doubt yourself, right?
I'm visualizing going to lane and placing a ward right now and how far I see with it. When I place it close to a tower, how far behind the tower do I see, including the tower range? So I think the true sight range of a tower is like 700 or 800. This is probably one of the next questions with how this is going. And when you place it, you need to place it outside of the ring, and then it sees quite far behind the tower, which would be more than 1200 then. I'm gonna trust my gut. I'll say C 1600. Let's lock it in, and then if it's wrong, I better get a second try.
It is correct.
Yes.
It is C,
All right.
1600.
Nice, okay.
On to question 10, which is your personal milestone. Which patch introduced Tormentors? Was it A, 733, B, 731, C, 734, or D, 739?
Well, it was not 739 for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that's a bit of a freebie. You need those once in a while as well.
The future patch. Tormentors. Tormentors were part of that patch that did a lot of stuff. It changed the map. It added Tormentors. It added Lotus Pools. It added gates.
I was actually inactive during this period of these things being added. So I remember coming back to the game and it was all there all of a sudden, and I was very confused.
So it's A or B, I think. 734 is too recent, I think, for this. I think B is too old. 731. When did this happen? This happened within the last... year and a half? Sometimes the chronology in Dota is just messed up. You're like, man, this is so old, and then it's like 6 months.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is a recent change, and then you check the change log, you're like, fuck, it's been this way for 5 years. Alright, my gut says A on this, but... 731.
I really understand the chronology thing. Sometimes you like talk to people or your friends and you say, oh, this is pretty recent, and then it's like 10 years old.
I mean, sometimes I talk about something in a cast, I'm like, oh, I have to correct myself, that's not true anymore. And then I go and look it up, and it's like, it has not been this way since 2017.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna commit myself to A or C. At the same time, though, do I 100% trust myself that it's not B? Because if I don't, then I should use the 50-50. Because otherwise I could get it wrong twice in a row and not reach 10. And I really want to reach at least 10. Torment. Oh, wait, I can also do it the other way around. I can pick, and then if I'm wrong, I can 50-50. On my second try, right?
Yeah. You can do that.
Then I will pick A, 733, lock it in, and if that's wrong, then I'll have to go from there.
That is... Oh, wrong way. That is correct.
All right, nice. Okay. Okay.
So now you're at 11 and you have secured $75.
Okay. All right.
What are the legacy hotkeys for Shadow Fiend's Shadow Races? Is it A, QWE, B, ZXC, C, ASD, or D, 123?
All right, I got an easy one as a reward now. That's good. This is B. Shadow Fiend's Shadow Races were one of the most iconic spells of Dota 1. So everybody who used to play that will remember for sure. So you can lock that in. That's B, 100%.
That is correct.
People even named them after the hotkeys. So in games, people would say the Z rays, and the X rays, and the C rays.
I remember this.
When you were talking about range. Instead of saying long, mid, and short rays, they actually called them the Z rays.
It's kind of easy, right? It's just one letter.
Yeah. It's just a letter.
All right.
According
to Wikipedia, how much has Synderen won as a Dota player? And this is rounded to the nearest thousand. Is it 57,000, 67,000, 47,000, or 77,000?
It's A or B. Which one is it? I mean, this is not one I can rationalize. I just need to think about having seen this number before.
I rounded it to the nearest thousand because the number was was a weird number, right? And I wanted to make it easier for myself to say the numbers.
Definitely peaked at the wrong time, you could say.
You could say.
Look at how things go nowadays. What can you do?
Yeah. I was looking at your results and you had some pretty good results in tournaments, and then you look at how much you earned from it and it's like, it's nothing compared to now.
It was a different time. I'm pretty sure it's B, but if it isn't B, it's definitely A. Oh, shit, is there a world this is C? Shit, now I'm tricking myself. Isn't it funny that you're not sure about a question about yourself? Huh?
Yeah, that's why the question is here.
Yeah,
because that's funny.
I'm gonna say A, 57,000.
That is correct.
All right. Damn, all my gut reads have been correct so far.
Yeah, you've been very good at following your gut. It's okay. It's impressive.
All right, 3 to go.
Which talk show featured Danish actors Kasper Christensen and Frank Vam watching Synderen and Velk casting Dota? Was it A, Zulu Late Night, B, Aftenshowet, C, Natholdet, or D, The Tonight Show?
Oh, I remember this. So there's a bit of a backstory to this, which is really funny. So this is from 2015, and we covered I think it was the Defense 3. It was me, Melk, and a host called Jesper, who has nothing to do with Dota. So he was completely new to the game and was just there as a host. But he did a great job, and he was a great guy. And what we had was we wanted to do integration with fans, so people could they could send in questions or whatever. And then at one point, to be, young with the young audience, we had Snapchat. So the TV show had a Snapchat where you could submit pictures. And they were opened live, so they weren't vetted pre.
It sounds very dangerous.
And at some point, somebody sent in a dick pic. And you have to imagine we're in this studio setup where we're behind the desk, and then the program monitor that we're seeing, where we're seeing ourselves and whatever's being shown on camera, is decently far away. So this dick pic comes up, and I genuinely, at first glance, don't notice what it is, and the other two identified immediately. So I'm like, what's that? And they just like, oh my God, they just crack up, I think it's really funny. And then obviously production cuts away from it. But then that clip obviously made it onto Danish Night TV because it's really funny. And then afterwards, obviously we had to vet them first. So when people submitted pictures, they would get checked before they got sent in. It was like, the idea was something like, show us how you're watching the show. I actually think that was the prompt. Show us how you're watching the show. And this guy's just like watching it with my dick out. I'm pretty sure the show that showed this was Netholdet. I'm almost confident that was the one that it was on. Also, the only ones that exist in Denmark are B and C, right? I don't think the other two are even shows we have in. Maybe Zulu Late Night is a thing now. It definitely wasn't back then. And the Tonight Show is that would be cool if we were put on that. So it's C or B. I'm pretty positive it was Netholdet. It also really fits the vibe of that. Aftenshow is a bit different. So I'm gonna lock in C. I think it's Netholdet.
That is correct.
Yes.
But I think you got
such a funny moment.
I think you got the clip wrong.
Oh, really?
Clip they're watching is you casting Monkey Freedom Fighters versus Golden Boys, and then they make Kasper Christensen and Frank Vam do the casting as well, so they get to try it, and it's really hilarious because they have no idea what's going on.
I'm almost 100% positive the other thing was also shown on that show.
I haven't seen the other thing.
I could be wrong. I remember them cracking up that happened, but maybe that was on another show then, because that's the clip that I remember making the rounds and like going viral essentially.
Okay,
was the clip of us seeing that, but
I'll try to find that clip as well.
Okay,
because this clip was
maybe
hilarious.
I remember it wrong. The other thing absolutely happened. Though. I'm not making that up. But all right, nice.
All right,
2 to go.
Which of these items never had charges in Dota? Is it A, Yule's Scepter of Divinity, B, Diffusal Blade, C, Drum of Endurance, or D, Black King Bar?
Well, so this is a matter of like technical, what you technically consider charges, or no, it isn't, because so BKB got changed. BKB used to always last 10 seconds. And then many years ago, they changed it to lose a second per time you use it until a limit, but it never had charges. It just went down in effectiveness, but you could always keep using it forever. Yule's had charges in Dota 1, and it upgraded into Hex, and you used to buy Yule's, and then when you ran out of charges, you would sometimes upgrade it into Hex. Diffusal had 8 charges, and then you could upgrade it to Diffusal 2, which then also had 8 charges. And Drum had charges for the majority of the history of the game. Recently, it lost its charges, actually. So that one was almost always with charges, whereas the Diffusal and Yule lost them way earlier. Does any item even have charges anymore? I think Drum was the last one.
I guess you can count raindrops in a way. But
yeah, that's true.
It's not a usable item.
It's just, that item actually disappears.
Yeah.
But so do tangos then, right? Then tangos have charges, and clarity has charges.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 100% D BKB that never had charges.
That is correct. Do you remember in Dota 1 when people would buy Yules on Rasta and do ward traps?
Yeah, you would Yule into ward trap? Yep.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that when I made this question, when I looked at Yules, and I remember that very vividly, being trapped by Yules into ward trap.
Do you remember how Diffusal Blade used to work in Dota 1? The item was insane.
Not necessarily. I don't remember.
You could purge the Warlock Golem.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You could purge Sven ulti, and you could purge Brood's Insatiable Hunger as well, I think.
I remember that as well. I think that was in...
It's like the most busted item. Imagine that in modern Dota.
I think that was in Dota 2 for a while as well, right?
I don't know if Dota 2 had it.
I think it did. I remember using my Warlock Golem in Dota 2 and it being diffused. I might be wrong, but that...
I mean, there's another one of those chronology things, right? It's been forever. So.
It has been forever. All right, on to the last
two
question.
Lives and a 50-50.
I hope you'll be able to make it.
I can't fail.
Hopefully not. That would be impressive.
I can 50-50 first, and then I have 2 guesses.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, we're in.
Let's see if you can get it without. How much spell aim do you have with Kaya Sage, Yasha and Kaya, Meteor Hammer and Kaya? Is it A, 24, B, 34, C, 44, or D, 12?
Oh, isn't this like a trick question that they don't stack?
There's some math included, at least.
So Kaya is 10. And Kaya Sanj is none of these items. Okay, the one that has the highest has more than 12, but less than 24. So that does mean they have to stack, because otherwise, my theory that it's a trick question doesn't hold. And it is definitely more than 12 on Meteor Hammer or Kaya Sanj. I think they have like 14 or 16 or something each. But do they all just stack additively? Or like multiplicatively? 12. Maybe different versions of Kaya don't stack, but they all stack with Hammer. Which would then mean it would be Meteor Hammer plus the highest of the other three, which I think is Kaya Sanj. Might have more than Yasha Kaya, or maybe they have the same. Which would, if it's multiplicatively, then it would probably be A, because that would be like some sort of 16 plus some sort of 10 or 12 that then gets a penalty. And then the other ones don't work. You know what? I've got a lifeline. I'm gonna use a 50-50.
Then I will remove A and B. So you're left with C and D.
Oh. Really? Do they just... Am I tripping? Is the highest 12? I mean, I'm safe, but I still want to get it right. I want to not use my agent.
I get that.
44%. So Kaya is 10. That would mean the other three need to be 34 together combined. Kaya might even be 8, actually. I think it's 10. 34 across all three would be an average of 11. So then one of them has to have... Let's see, if 3 of them had 14, that'd be 42, and then the 10%, and then some multiplicative loss. Is that possible?
Who knows?
I feel like I remember reading a recent patch that some sort of stacking with the Kaya items was removed, but I don't think it was the spell amp. I think it was the mana region amp that you couldn't stack for Meteor Hammer and Sanj Kaya.
Sounds like this question turned out to be harder than you thought it would be.
No, I thought it was hard the moment it came on, actually. I was like, this is question 15 for a reason. But I think some of the above 10s were easier than I would have thought, and some of the below 5s were harder.
It's very difficult to measure which questions are hard.
Yeah, for sure. This is the type of game where some people will just think high questions are easy and low questions are hard.
Exactly.
You can run the same with other people. It will just be different. Okay, well, I'm going to say C, 44%.
That is not correct.
So it is 12. So they don't stack. So that was the thing that was changed.
They don't stack, and the highest one gives 12%.
Which is the highest? Is that Kaya Sanj?
It's Kaya Sanj, Yashikaya, and Meteor Hammer.
They all give 12.
They all give 12. I'm a bit unsure about Meteor Hammer, but I think it gives 12.
Yeah, so if they all did stack with 12, that would be 36. And then if Kaya is 10, that would be 46. And with multiplicative loss, there's no way this would work anyway.
Yeah.
So the only way C is possible is if, I just needed to remember the numbers wrong for the stacking to even be possible.
Yeah.
So it was a trick question. Damn it.
It was a trick question. Well, you made it all the way.
I still got it.
Using your lifelines and your ages. And congratulations on the $150 to charity.
Yes.
And, thanks for playing.
Thank you. This was fun. I love game shows, so it was great to be on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, GG.
GG.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Dota 2 content. If you want to catch me live on Twitch, there's a link in the description. And I'll see you next time.